We put an incredible amount of energy and resistance to living when it can be so simple, because there's a perfect synchronicity and we are trying to grab it. We are trying to control it. We are trying to say, no, it's not supposed to be like this. I'll tell you how it's supposed to be and I'll make it that way. But think about this for a second. If things were not the way they were supposed to be, wouldn't they not be this way? Like, if in this present moment you say this is not supposed to happen, if it was not supposed to happen, it would simply not happen. Who is saying that it shouldn't happen? Who are you to decide that this should not be happening? And where is it coming from inside of you? It's probably your ego. Your ego that is stuck into a limited perspective about reality is saying, no, this should not happen because this generates discomfort in me, because this is painful, because this is undesired. Based on my perception and based on my experience here, this should not happen. And now we're speaking for life itself that this thing should not happen. And we're speaking through a place that has tunnel vision, that is not connected to the bigger picture. And if while you're listening to me, you're still in resistance and you're like, no, but it's true, there's some things that should not happen in life. This is still your ego trying to control events. And I'm asking you to listen through, instead of trying to listen through your mind, listen to the words and try to understand it through your heart. Try to understand it from a deeper place. Because allowing ourselves to be in full acceptance of everything about this life is so freeing and also so empowering. We might think that if we accept things, then we don't have the power to change them anymore and we are accepting defeat, but it's actually quite the opposite. When we are in full surrender, in full acceptance, we are harnessing the energy of creation. We are in this space of full potential, knowing that anything is possible and that everything that's happening is there to happen, and we can take everything that happens and create so much out of it. Because let's talk about what a few things acceptance is not. Acceptance is not letting life happen to you, letting people walk on you, letting shitty situation take over you, and doing nothing about it. That's not acceptance. Acceptance is not just doing nothing with your life and sitting on your couch and being like, fuck it, things don't have meaning and let me just like waste away my life. Because what's the point? That's not acceptance. That's abandonment. That's bitterness. Acceptance is more of a surrender and stepping into a bigger space within, stepping into trust, trusting the universe, trusting life, hence trusting yourself. It's letting go of trying to control everything, trying to keep everything together, because when we're trying to control, we are feeding on fear. The part of us that tries to control the outcomes, that try to control the present moment or what's going to happen next, is based in fear. It's based in, if this doesn't happen or if this happens, I am in danger, or something bad is gonna happen, or I'll go broke, or I will face discomfort, or I will be hurt. Every level of controlling, of trying to control the outcome, of trying to control life is based in fear. So that's not freeing, that's not fun, that's not liberating. It's restrictive, it's limited. Fear is constricted. Being in full acceptance is stepping into love, into that energy of love, into the open space. So how to be in acceptance? First of all, see where your mind plays tricks on you, okay? It's all a game of perspective, because it's either we think that things are happening to us or things are happening for us. When we are trying to control things, when we're not in acceptance, we feel like life is always happening to us and we need to fix it, that we need to control things to protect ourselves. And when we know that life is happening for us, that everything that happens is meant to happen the way it's happening and is meant for your evolution, is simply meant to be that way, we are allowing ourselves to co-create with life in this present moment. We are allowing us to see possibilities where we couldn't see possibilities when we were in control, where we were in limitation. Because let's see it this way. The part of you that thinks that things shouldn't be this way is a part of you that's seeing life through its own experiences of the past. It's the ego aspect of life. When you say this shouldn't be happening like this, you're only saying it through the understanding of what you've experienced up to now, through your experiences of the past, and through your limited perception of reality. So you're trying to recreate the past into the present and future moment. But the thing is, the things that we don't know them until we know them. Like there's moments in my life that I thought I was touching a certain truth, and then I was presented to a bigger, higher truth, a more expanded truth, and I realized how I was in a limited perspective in the past. And I couldn't see the truth I was seeing now because I simply didn't have access to it. And in this present moment, I know that there's something bigger that I can't see yet because I simply haven't accessed it yet. And when I'm in my tunnel vision of what I know up to this day, I can't access this bigger place. And I'm not open to it because I'm stuck into how I think things should be. And when you allow yourself to be more in surrender, to know that whatever happens is meant to happen this way and there's something you're not seeing, you allow yourself to open yourself to these things you're not seeing and step into them and being like, oh, this was here. I didn't know it was here. Let me see what's next. And you're always open to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer, to the different levels of consciousness and understanding about life. And there's so much moments in the past that you can look at something from the past that in that present moment, it was really uncomfortable. You were like, this shouldn't be happening. This is really painful. Like you lose a family member, you break up with someone, you go broke or whatever it is. There's an uncomfortable situation that's happening that's invoking pain to you. And so you're saying it should not happen because of that. But then that very thing brought you to expand in ways you would have never expanded if it was not for that undesired outcome. It brought you to see life in a different way. It brought you to open your heart in a more expanded way. And so when you let go of the resistance of how things should be, you accelerate that process of being able to step into bigger and bigger spaces continuously. And you also, in this present moment, just experience so much more ease, so much more freedom, so much more flow, because it's not all up to you. It's an incredible amount of pressure of you little self having to control everything, like this entire big universe. It's so big, this life, and you have to control all of that. You have to keep it all together. That's a lot of pressure on you. How about you just let go and know that there's a higher intelligence that's taking care of stuff. And all you have to do is, first of all, trust in the process of life and listen and open your heart to the solutions that come to you, to the message that comes to you, to what feels right in this present moment. I'm not saying to just sit back and do nothing. I'm saying to trust in what you feel right now is the best thing to do without attaching yourself to what is supposed to happen next, knowing that what is supposed to happen next is gonna happen in the way it's supposed to happen. And all you have control over right now is the way you're responding to life, the way you're receiving life. And the more you're in this surrender, in this acceptance, the more you're open to the possibilities and to the messages that life offers you and to the stepping stones. And so you don't need to have control over everything. You don't need to know what's going to happen next. You just need to trust in the perfect symphony of life, in the perfect song of life, that everything just flows and there's truly no resistance to have. And if there's still some resistance in you, what you can do is look at the fears that are trying to control. What are the fears of letting go of this control? What are you afraid of? Addressing what you're afraid of, like let's say, yeah, but if I don't control every little aspect of my work, I'm gonna go broke. And if I go broke, and that's like a panic for you. It's like you feel unsafe. Instead of trying to control everything, sit down with that fear. Allow that fear to be seen. Allow that fear to be heard. Move through that fear and then let it go. And say, I trust, because then solutions are going to come to you and you'll find that you are always supported. There's always resources everywhere and you are always safe in this present moment, here and now. It's taking up so much of your energy and mental space to try to grip on everything and control everything around you. But you have no idea what the bigger picture is. And you pretend like you have it all figured out and things shouldn't be a certain way, but that's only based on your emotions. It's not based on the truth. It's not based on a higher truth. And when you trust that everything is just how it's meant to be, you learn so much more from it, because when something happens that is undesired, instead of resisting it and saying, no, it's not supposed to be there, you just allow yourself to see it, to experience it, and then you learn so much from it. You grow so much from it. You transcend into a new reality. You expand. And there's so much beauty in acceptance and detachment from the outcome. So then you can take inspired action in this present moment. Always following what feels right. You know, I always said, like, if I'm always following what feels right in this present moment, I can't go wrong. Sometimes we're scared to take the wrong path or do the wrong thing. But there's no way you can go do wrong if you're just following what feels right here and now. And in order to know what feels right, you have to let go of that ego trying to control everything, drop into yourself, drop into acceptance of life, and then you're going to receive guidance way more clearly. And you're going to be able to follow that voice saying, like, you know what? I feel like what's in my highest today is actually to take a day off, relax. If that feels like the brightest thing to do, maybe that's the very thing that's going to bring you insight. That's going to nourish you. If you're wondering should I leave this job? Should I leave this relationship? Should I enter this one? What feels right here and now? Every day, just follow what that voice says, that sensation says. And you can never go wrong. Because even when you think you're going wrong and the path becomes harder and there's challenges, well, those challenges are there to make you evolve, to make you grow, and to bring you into new heights, to be in full acceptance. Look at where there's resistance inside of you. What is this resistance feeding on? What fears is it feeding on? And change your perspective. Every time something happens and you're like, no, this shouldn't happen this way, step back. Remind yourself that if it's happening like this, it's because it's supposed to happen this way. Where is my power right now? What do I actually have control over? I have control over how I decide to see this situation. I have control over the power I give away and the power I harness within. I have control over what I learn from this. Am I gonna grow from it, or am I gonna resist it and just resist the lessons? You know, I had to do this. With this YouTube channel, I was so attached to the outcome of my videos, of like gaining subscribers and having views, and I would put so much pressure on the content I was creating that the process of creating the content, of getting in front of the camera, took so much time versus just actually creating the content, because I was so much in my head of trying to control everything I would say, and what if I forget what to say, and what if it's not perfectly worded, and trying to script things out, and it was keeping me in freeze mode. And every time I would not get results, I would not get the results that I so craved and so wanted, it would push me back, because then I would be frustrated, I would be in fear, I would be like, it's not working again. It would take me so much more time to create my next piece of content. And a few weeks ago, I broke down and I really decided that I was fed up of living through that energy. And I was like, I just don't want to care anymore. I just don't want to care. I don't want to put that pressure on me. And there's a lot of things that move through me. And I was reminded about what I'm sharing today. I was reminded of this truth. Like, I was, as much as I know this, in that moment, I embodied it. And now this is what I'm doing. I'm embodying this full acceptance. And what it allowed me to do is that I've been creating so much more, because I'm not in my head about it. I just decided to trust, put the camera on, choose a topic, and just trust that the words will flow, that the message has to be shared, will be shared, and to not overthink it. And I feel so much more free. And maybe things were not working out because things were not aligned. The way I was trying to go about things, it was not aligned, and it was trying to show me this other path that I was not seeing. And this is way more sustainable for me. This is way more aligned with how my energy works, to really going in the flow of creating without pressure. And if days I don't feel like talking, I won't film. And if days I do, I film. And I've also just simply detached myself from getting results. Somewhere deep down, I don't care if my videos get views anymore. It's weird because I never thought I would say this and truly feel it. Yes, I want it to succeed. Yes, my intentions are pure. My desire is there. But I'm not attached to the result, And that's allowing me to just show up. And for that reason, I feel like it is gonna succeed. But if it doesn't, like, it's okay. That's just how it's supposed to be. And who am I to say this is not how it's supposed to be? Who am I to say that? I have no idea. I have no idea what the bigger plan is anyway. I have no idea what's next. Like, and I'm not supposed to know. I'm just supposed to flow with what is here now. And whether or not I have external results, like success on my YouTube channel, I'm growing as a person, and that's enough. Yeah. So I'll leave you on this, and I hope this video inspired you.